Hello everybody, the webinar of today is going to be about GotoWebinar, the software we are using. So, before explaining how the software is working, I will introduce to you the website. So, when you arrive on the website, you will arrive on this homepage where you can see the webinars which are planned for the next following days. You can choose a date range here. You can search webinars by names also, or you can directly schedule a webinar from there, but we'll see this later. So this is for the upcoming webinars. You will also have an overview of the past webinars. Again, you can sort out by date range, or search for webinars. Then to go on schedule menu, so you schedule webinar. So you have the menu on the left of your page, as you can see. You will have the possibility. You have all the options for the creation of a webinar. So first of all, you can copy of webinars. So for example, if you have already done a webinar about Google Tools, but you want to do another one, instead of creating the whole webinar, you just choose a webinar and you will have the same description, titles, options, except the date. Or if you want to create a whole new one, you just write your title there. You can add a little description, which can be useful for your attendees, your participants, so they can have a better idea of what is it going to be exactly. Because if you just say Google Tools, you have, for example, dozens, not dozens, but quite a lot of Google Tools. So if you want to present only some ones, you can write it down there. A good place. How it will occur? Will it be only one session? Or will it be a daily webinar, weekly, monthly, or you can custom a schedule. Let's say, yeah, you will have one on this date and another one on, for example, you will have one starting on the 24th, and you will have another session, and you can completely custom your schedule. If it's only one session, you won't have this add another session. Just have a start date, start time, end time. You choose also your webinar time zone and the language. So let's create it, blah, blah, blah. You click on schedule. Then you will arrive on this long list of options. So first of all, here you can copy your webinar. Again, the same than before. Just instead of going in schedule a webinar, copy a webinar, you directly copy the webinar from your existing webinars. You can cancel it. You can practice. So the practice option, as we will going to see it after again, is you will have access to the softwares, and you can discover it without having people joining, without having attendees. People cannot see that you are on the softwares for this webinars. You can, for example, 20 minutes before your first webinar, you can click on practice, and so you can discover all the options that we will going to see after. And when you're ready, you can directly click on start on your software. But if you're feeling comfortable or you're running out of time, you can directly start from there. So here you will see the title and the description that you can edit. Date and time, calendar you can edit, and languages. Then this we haven't seen it yet. You have the audio. So with GotoWebinar, either you're using phones or you're using computers. So here you can choose how it's going to be. If you're using a built-in audio, like computer audio, long distance number, from which country you accept, you can put your number, but you don't. If you have attendees from various countries and you want only people from France can call you, but only people from France can call you, or from Germany or whatever, you can choose in the list there, and you can Take the country you want to make accessible for a calling. You can also use your own conference call service if you have one. The built-in audio is actually the software of GotoWebinar. Then, by default, the organizers unmute the panelists, so people who are invited are unmuted as well, and the attendees are muted. Branding and themes. So for this part is actually, you may have seen it, but when you're joining a webinar, if it's the broadcast have not starting yet, you will see a screen which is the same that you, like a page which is the same that you have received when you register for this webinar. This page with the name, the titles, the descriptions can be customized from there. So you can add logo, custom image, choose a color for your theme that you will see before, for example, Ruby. You can add a welcome message which will appear on the software when people connect. They will see it directly in the chat. And you can also, if you have presenters, the waiting room is this page that people will see before the broadcast has started. So if you want, you can add presenter details, pictures, name, title, organization, and you can add as many presenters as you want to. And you can see a preview as well. So this is for branding and themes. Then the organizers, you can change from there. Panelists, if you have some people invited. Then share your webinar. So you have also I didn't show you. Sorry. When you are in my webinars, they're charging. In session, this is for this one. So you can share it directly for there. So you email to yourself the invitation so you can forward it. You can copy the webinar information, and so you can copy it in an email, copy the registration link, post it to Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn. You can edit it, copy it, practice, or in session start for the other one. You can see the number of registrants as well. So let's go back to the edition. We were to share your webinar. So here you have also the registration link and the webinar ID. If you want to add people who have not signed through the registration link, they can also join the webinar, but they will need this ID. Again, email to yourself the invitation or copy the webinar information. As you can see, you will have this little window. The registrants limit, you can also add it, change it. So for like the 1,000 is a maximum, but you can choose, if you want to create a webinar for only 20 person, you can add this limit there. You can choose the settings for the approval, automatically approved, manually approved. You can change also the settings upon registrations. So when someone registers, send an email to webinar, direct registration, go to webinar confirmation page, direct registrants to your own confirmation page, and you have to put your link. Also for the recording, so you can record your webinars, and so when it's finished, the attendees can automatically receive the recording, and you just will have to upload it in my recordings, but we will see this later. And you can create a password, but if you create a password for your webinars, you will have to give this passwords to your future attendees, because if you do not, they won't be able to join the webinar. and I forgot about the registration. Also, you have a second tab here, questions. So normally when you register, you just have to give your first name, last name, and email address. But if you want that the registrants to give more information, you can choose here field required. For example, their country, phone, job title, whatever. You can also create your own question if you want to do so, and have a preview again. Then, so this is for the registration settings. For the tracking registrants, yeah, it will just be information about the registrants for your webinar. Because as you can edit your webinar after having created it, if you have other way to do so, but you can also access to the name, email address, registration date and time of registrations of your future attendees. Also, email. Here you will have basic information. So reply, you have the email address, you will receive the automatic emails from the website. Here you have various options about the emailing for the registrants. For example, the reminder email, which will be automatically I think 1 hour before webinar. No, this one you can change. So you will have various options in edit about this email. You can choose. You're quite free actually, so that's pretty good. And for the recordings as well, as you can edit this later, you can directly link the recording to this webinar through this this way. Let's say you can do it through my recordings as well, but if you want to do so, if you have all the other things to check, for example, on this page, you can upload your recordings on this webinar through this page again. And here you have the last part of this page, engage your attendees. You can share documents during the webinar with your attendees. You can create polls and surveys. So first for the handouts, so up to 5 documents, and each has to be less than 100 megabytes. You can directly drag and drop a file here, but you can also do it on the software, as we will see later. For the polls, you can create polls you will share with your attendees during the webinar through the software, and you can easier create them during the webinar, but it will be easier to do this before, and so you have only 2 choices, so multiple choice, 1 answer or multiple answers. You can create your question and different options. And of course, you can create several polls. When you have created one, it will appear there, and then you can create a new one, a new one, a new one. And the last one is a survey. As a survey can be automatically sent to the attendees, so you have feedback about your webinar, you can create it on this website as well. So title, questions, you will have more choice, so multiple choice, again 1 answer, multiple answers, but also rate on a scale of 1 to 5 and short answer. So you choose your type of question the type of question you want to ask, then you write your question and the possibility of answers, for example. And for the settings, so here you can select the way you want the survey to be sent, so after the webinar with the follow-up email, or so for the attendees or for the absentees as well, which is possible. Don't see again really the point, but still you can do it if you find your interest doing so. For the follow-up email, by the way, you will have in the emails here, you can edit as well. Okay, so my recordings. With the software, you can record your webinar. At the end of your session, you will have the opportunity to convert this recording into a video video file. When it's done, you can upload it on the website. it allows you to link in, for example, with a specific webinar, and so people then can still can have an access to this video if, for example, they couldn't make it and they didn't attend the webinar, so they can have an access to the video there. In this page, you can actually play your video to see how it looks like if you have a doubt. You can have the link. Oops. So it will just appear in this small window, so you have directly to select it, copy it, and then you can paste it. And of course, you can delete your recording. Also, here you have your storage space. Be aware, because it's only 3 giga on the website, and video usually take quite a lot of storage. So check the type of file you have, and maybe you can how can I call it? Optimize. Yeah, sorry. You can optimize your storage on the website. The webinar history is just basically a history of what have been done. Be aware, you will not only, if I don't mistake, yeah, you don't have only the webinar you have actually broadcast, so start and do, but if you practice, you will also it's in your webinar history. For example, yesterday, 1 hour and 55 minutes to prepare this, not only. And you can view broadcasting data. It will upon webinar analytics. And you will have statistics about your webinar sessions. So here for the practice, of course, I didn't have any attendees. No registrants actually, but yeah, you will see how many registrants, how many attendees finally, the start date, time, etc. It can be really useful if you want to do a study about how was it going on. And if you want to have even more complete information about how it was, you will have the possibility to generate reports directly. Sorry. So about registration, attendee, performance, recording, survey, and again the webinar analytics, which is a little bit different. It's still a new tab which will open, but you have more complete information about your webinars than on the one you have in the history, webinar history. So first you have to select your report type. I will explain you a little bit further the different kind of report after. Then you have to choose a date range, and when you have choose it, like either date within or specific date, you click on show my webinars, and then you can select your webinar. And for example, with webinar analytics, you will see this page. So as you can see, it's more detailed than the other one. So here you don't have any information because it was my test webinar, but it can be really useful if you want to do a little bit of study, statistics, etc. You will have to, each one you want to create a new report, you will have to, again, choose your date range and click on show webinar. So it's not really well done, but still it can be really useful, and you will have a lot of information. So for the report, I think the best thing to do if you want to have some, to see what exactly it will looks like, would be to actually try to do one, because you will better understand. But for example, a registration report, you will, like most of the time, you will have a presentation, like for example, title of your webinar, ID, this kind of information, date, number of opened of registrants, etc., and the name, emails, dates, etc. So for the performance attendee, you will have all the time this kind of spreadsheets with some common information and some specific one. And after the webinar, I will send to you a PDF, as always, and I have detailed all the reports somewhere. Right? Yeah, there. So you have the details of the information you will find in each report: registration, attendee, performance. So if you want, you can read this, or you can just have a try after your first webinar, for example. Then, yeah, and in some, not for all, actually for all except for webinar analytics, you will have a fourth step. You have to choose the format. So Excel or .csv. I don't really see the point of this format. You will have a spreadsheet and all the information will be separated by commas. But I guess it's useful in some case. I cannot explain it to you, I'm sorry. Then, okay, I have questions. Sorry, I'm gonna check it just 1 second. Is it free to use this platform to set a seminar? As far as I know, it's not a free service. You will have to pay. It's not so expensive, but yeah, it's not free. For sure, the software is not free, but I think that just using the platform, you cannot do it really separately. You pay and then you have access to the website, and when you have access to the software, if you want to use the software, if you don't want, you can use your own software, but you will have to pay always. Okay, I hope it was good. You have understand. Then the settings. I've lost my question. Yeah. Okay. In the settings, you will have the last same thing that before, the audio settings. So as I have explained it to you before, is it computer, audio, phone number, from which country? Click on edit. And do you use your own conference call service? And for the webcam, you can, with the software, you can show your webcam if you want to do so. But if you want other people from the staff to share their webcams as well during the webinars, you will have to tick this option, which normally is ticked by default, but still, if you want to, if there is a problem, check the settings first. Okay, so I think that for the website, I have explained everything. Now for the software. So for the software, it's a little bit more complicated. Not to use it, but I cannot show it to you as I'm using it, and it's automatically hidden by the software itself. So I have done some screenshots, so I can show you how it will look like when you organize yourself a webinar. And so I will explain it to you like this. And again, I will send you the PDF that I have closed. Oops. And I have not only explained the website, it's really long this time, but also yeah, the software. So I have detailed all the different menus. So if you have a doubt, if there is something you have forgotten, don't hesitate to check it. I will send it to you by email after. Okay, so wait, here. This is the software. So you have various parts, and I had to do a different screenshot to show you all the details. So the first one, here you have a shortcuts panel. This allows you to hide, so this is the shortcut panels, and this is the control panels with all the different parts. In the shortcut panels, you can hide the control panel so you can see better your screen. You can mute or unmute yourself. You can show your webcam or unshow it. When it's green, people can hear you, for example, or people can see your webcam. Here it's to show your screen. Here is to give the control of the keyboard and mouse to an attendee. And here is to allow an attendee to show its own screen. And to finish here, there is drawing tools. So normally you have this cursor you can see. But if you want, you can, for example, have a pen. And I guess you can see it. And I can draw on my computer to explain you, okay, so you see here, it's like this. And if you want, you can erase all your drawings here as well. So you have various options, the pen, but also I will show it on your PDF. It will be easier. No, I didn't make a screenshot. You have, so sorry, the pen, the highlighter, so it's like this. The spotlight, so you can point things out, or the arrow, where you can create arrow to explain things as well. So it can be pretty useful depending of which kind of webinar you are doing. And you can choose your pen colors. Woo, how cool. So when you launch your, when you click on practice on your website, GoToWebinar, here, the software will open, and you will be, I'm losing myself, you will be in practice mode. When you want to start your webinar and let people see the waiting room, you click on start. Then you will have a new red window. Thanks. So attendees still hold on, start broadcast. So people can actually see the waiting room, but they're not hearing you, and the actual webinar haven't started yet. So it allows people to join the webinar, but you still have some time. So for example, you can start this 5 minutes or before the start of the webinar. And so then you click on start broadcast, and it will actually start the webinar. Then next one, you have this part, audience view. So you can see the how they call this, the number of the percentage of attendees who are actually seeing your screen. So I can see all these little green things moving all the time, like 20%, 0%. Nobody is listening to me. No. So yeah, you will actually see all the time this. I don't know how you call it in English, but yeah, there's things moving. And if you click on this little button here, you will also see what people can see. So for example, here, as I'm in practice mode, they will just show me the waiting room, but also when I click on start, but still I didn't broadcast yet. If you want to have a better idea of what people like attendees can actually see, you can click on this little icon, and so this part will become a new window you can enlarge, and so you can have a good view of what people can see. And then when you start to show your screen, and we are going to see it after, you can see what people are seeing on your screen. Then screen sharing. So click on play, and they will start to see the screen. It's pretty obvious, but you have various options. You can click on. You can put it in pause. You can stop it. Here again, it's the same than in the shortcut panels. You can give keyboard and mouse and change. Change presenter. So here it's for changing presenter, just in case. And this little drop-down menu allows you, and this one I think, I screenshot it. So if you click on it, you can choose if people can see whole your screen, as it is the case right now. So you can see everything here. If they see a clean screen, so it will hide icons, backgrounds, taskbar, etc. Or if they can only see some of the application. For when I did my screenshot, I have the document of webinar and the Google browser, which was open, and so you can say, okay, they won't see the internet browser, just my Word document. So you can select here. Yes, can be really useful. Then next one, here, start recording. So as I said before, you can record your webinar. So you just click on there, then you can stop recording whenever you want to do so. Here you will have the storage remaining, and you have also access to some settings. which for this case is not really developed. So this is this one. You have option about okay, how can I explain it? Yeah, you can choose to not record audio but only the video, and then you can choose which kind of audio service you want to use, your own one or the audio service of the software, because you can do both. Also, when you, for example, when I finish my seminar, I close my software, and so a new window open to remind me to convert the recording. And so for me it's really useful, because usually at the end of the webinar I'm just like, okay, it's done, and I forgot to convert my recording. But no, hopefully I have this little window reminds me, because it's only a guess, but I think that the software using a special kind of format, and so to make it readable for your computer, it has to be converted. So you can choose if you want this reminder or not in the settings, just on the right of the recording part. And also you can choose where the recording will be saved after. Then the webcam. You can share your webcam if you want to do so, and you have some options again for this webcam. So if I remember well, it's pretty yeah, okay, I didn't put it. Wait, no, I close it. Wait a second. Okay, yeah, you have some preferences like your camera, the display format, and you can access also to advanced setting with the luminosity, contrasts, this kind of thing. So as when you launch your webcam, a new window will open. You can try to put it the best way you want to do. Then for the webcam, that's certain. Okay, the audio. So either you use your phone with this software or mic and speakers. In case you're using mic and speakers, you can here choose with mic you want, which headphones you want to use. You can do a sound check, and here if you so this basically is what you can do with mic and speakers. And with the phone, yeah, I've got there, as you can see well. If you click on this, you will have your number, access code for this webinar, and the audio pin. People will need if you use if you do it by phone and not microphone and speakers. And in the edit part, you will have 3 options. So play, on, hold, bips. Normally, when you download this software, you will, anyway, and you are an organizer, you will hear a sound to aware you that the audio is functioning. Can be really annoying, and it is a beep. So you can say you can choose not to hear this in the option, the edit option of the audio. Also chimes. So normally when attendees joins or left, you will hear a sound. You can suppress this, and you have the last one, exit audio mode, and actually you're just coming back to the audio settings of the website. Okay, so then you have the dashboard. So you will see the time it was supposed to last, and you will also see from how many time it actually when, for example, now it has started 36 minutes ago, so I can see it on my software. You can see the number of attendants, you can see the attentiveness again, so it means people who are actually, I think, I'm just checking, yeah, so the viewer, so my screen that you are seeing on your computer, if it's on the foreground, it will be considered as attentiveness, and you will have the percentage here. Also the number of questions which were asked, and the number and percentage of hands raised. Okay, and by the way, I will just check if there is any questions. No, nothing new. Okay. Then you will have the part about the attendees and the staff. So here you will have the name of the attendees, but also some information. For example, if you will have some kind of a table here with line and columns. You will see if they are muted or not. You will see also if they can take control of the mouse and keyboard. Third one, yeah, here I can see who have the screen viewer on their foreground or not. Then question asked, hand raised. And so yeah, basically that's it. Here you can mute all, and you can drop lower, sorry, all ends here. You can also invite other people. So for example, if I have one of my colleagues or friends who say, oh, okay, I want to attend to a seminar, but okay, it has already started, I cannot join on the website, and it will take time. So you can just click on this to invite other people. What will happen? A new window will open, and you just have to tell to these people to go on the website GotoWebinar.com and to enter the webinar ID, specific ID of this webinar. Sorry. And then they can join directly on the webinar. You can do a search in the name if you want to do so, if you have 1,000 people, for example. And you can also, if the second tab, staff will, okay, I have that, wait, here. So staff, you will see, like for example, here is the AMSED association, but you can have several people from the staff and several presenters. That's why you have so many different options in the software. And so yeah, you will see these people. You can mute. Again, control of the keyboard and mouse, and you will also see if they share the webcam or not. Okay, and here you can just, of course, mute them. You don't have the option of lower hand, as people of the staff cannot. Then, the polls. So if you have created polls on your website, you will see them or it there. And if you didn't, or if you want to add some, you can always click on manage polls, and then the website page about the polls will open, and you can create new polls. So if you are alone doing the webinar, it's not possible, because you have to explain, and it will be really difficult to create a poll in the same times. But if you are several people from the staff, for example, one people can answer a question, and when there is no question, and if these people have this person has a new ID, she or he can create a new poll during the webinar directly, thanks to this option. And sorry, also I think I've taken a screenshot. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Sorry. So if you have created polls, you will have the possibility to select your the poll you want to launch here in this drop-down menu. Then you can launch it, so people can answer to the polls. And when everybody has answered, or if you want to, like, not everybody, but you want to finish it, you have the possibility to end it, to close it, and then you have the possibility to directly share the results with the attendee during the webinar also. For example, I have created a poll, and I share it with you, and then I say, okay, so I have 3 answers for 5 people, but the 2 others are not actually really attentive, so let's say that's fine, so I end it, and then I share it to you before starting a new poll. And you will also have, you cannot see it on this screenshot, but the percentage of people who have voted. Then, lost in my icons here. Questions. Here you will see the questions which have been asked during, which are being asked during the webinar. Again, if you click on this part, you will have a wider window, which allows you to see actually more options. You will not only have the questions, as is the case here, and the asker, but also the time the question, the exact time, how can I explain it, when exactly the question was asked. You can put priority if you want on the questions as well. And normally I answer orally to your questions because it will take me time to write them, the answer down, and also because it will make noise, so it's not really interesting for you. But if you are several people from the staff, the answer will be also, sorry, the answer which has been written will appear also on this wider window of the question part. You can select show answered questions or not, because if you have many questions, you can make them disappear, so you have a clearer view of what are the remaining questions. And so here you can write down the answer, and you can choose to send this answer privately or to send it to all people. Last one, last screenshot. Handouts. So again, you can share 5 documents with your attendees, and these documents, these files, have to take less than 100 megabytes. So either you have selected on the website, and actually I just realized that I didn't try this, sorry, but I guess you can make so they will appear here, or you can directly choose a file or drag and drop it here, so you can share it with your attendees. And finally is the chat. So here you will see the welcome message, as we have seen it before in the option when you are scheduling a webinar. You can so when you schedule a webinar, in the second part of the settings, you have these themes and everything with colors and logo, and here you have the possibility to create a welcome message, which will directly appear there when you launch the software. And you can create whenever you want. You can write down a message in the chat also, and you can choose if you want that the entire audience see this message, or if it will be only the people from the staff. If you want to share some information quickly and that you cannot talk with these people because you are actually presenting something, and so you can write this down there and share it with the staff. For example, don't forget to answer to this question or whatever. Okay, so I think that's pretty it. Yeah, and I forgot to put it in the PDF, but if you want, on the, where is it? Here. On the website of GotoWebinar, you have access to resources. So not only they have a good, how do you call it, like questions and answers, but also you will have tips and tricks, training videos, complementary trainings, whatever, and you can have a look on the tips and tricks. It's really, they're easy to read, it's quick to read them. For me, I didn't find them so useful because it's really professional. So if you have a webinar with 100 people, and yeah, but still it can be useful. For example, 5 tips for better webinar audio, or best practices, or whatever. So at first I wanted to put them on the PDF, but finally it was so long that I thought we can just check it directly on the website. Okay, so is there any questions first? No, nothing. So it may seem complicated, as there are a lot of things that I explained to you, but because I wanted to explain the biggest number of things I can. But when you have a try, you will see it's really easy and it's user friendly, so it's gonna be fine. Okay, so that's it. I hope it was useful, and as always I will send you the PDF by emails. Have a good day, and good luck if you want to do a webinar yourself. Goodbye!